How much money are you leaving on the table with each customer interaction? And how much more would your customers be willing to pay you if you gave them an experience that they would want to repeat, spend more money on, and tell their friends? You'd agree with me that this would boost your revenues. And in order for this to happen, it requires a shift from looking at the process the customer goes through as made up of different events, one of those events being perhaps how they find your products on the website, and another one being how they make the actual payment, to looking at it as one overall experience, where what you do in one part of it can and will affect the rest. One of the things I enjoy doing in my free time is hiking, and as such, I made a booking with a company that specializes in this. The hiking part of the experience was great. They took us on a scenic route, they knew little known facts about the area, they surprised us with homemade cookies and hot cocoa when we got to the top, and when it started to rain, they were prepared with disposable raincoats for each of us. That part of the experience was great. The drive to get there was another story. They had a driver who was ill prepared. A driver who came to pick us up at 6 a.m. without all his gear, and then had to leave us out in the cold at 6 a.m. to go pick up the rest of his gear. By the time he came back and we hit the road, he was driving recklessly, overtaking at dangerous spots, overspeeding, braking violently. When we asked him to slow down, he told us that he was trying to make up for the time that we had lost because we were now running late since he had to go pick up the gear. By the time I came back, I knew I would never use this company again. And I'm not the only one because the other hikers also said the same thing. I'm willing to bet that you've had an experience that's similar. One where some parts of the experience were really good, but the parts that were not so good diluted the parts that were great and ruined the overall experience. That's because you can't compartmentalize a customer's emotions. What happens in one part will flow into the rest and affect the rest of the experience. But I've found a way in which to get companies to delight their customers across the entire customer journey. And I want to share this with you. My name is Jackie Mwangi, and I'm the CEO of Biology, a company that does market research around customer experience such as mystery shopping. And we've worked with companies in different industries, from hospitality to healthcare, manufacturing, retail, financial services, and telecommunications. Some of the companies that we've worked with were large and some were also growing. And the fact that we've tried and tested these principles and this formula across the different companies in different sectors and different sizes, I know this will work for you. These principles will help you avoid losing customers, but I don't just want you to avoid losing customers. I want you to maximize how much you make on each transaction with the customer. I want your customers to spend more with you because you give them a delightful experience that they want to share with their friends and the rest of the world. The first of these principles is how you meet your customers' needs. How do you get your customers to their goal, and what are their expectations? Do you take care of the dependents that affect the overall experience? Because a lot of companies, like in the case of the hiking company, they take care of the overall experience, the main goal. Like for them, it was the hiking. They take care of this, but then they forget little things like things. It's not so little actually, but you forget things like how we get there and that experience, which affects the overall experience. So how do you get your customers to their goal, and do you take care of the dependents that affect the entire experience? Do you meet your customers' expectations and actually exceed your customers' expectations? The second principle is how effortless do you make this? How effortless do you make this experience? When you're getting your customers to their goal, how effortless do you make it for them? By effort, I mean how much friction is there in some parts of your customer experience? Do you cause any negative stress to your customers? Because if you're causing any negative stress, it's going to affect the way in any parts of the experience of the customer journey. It's going to affect the way customers feel at the end. Do you have parts of your customer journey that create negative stress for your customers? We'll teach you how to address those and design a customer experience that's seamless, that reduces how much effort customers have to make, so that we can get to the third principle. The third principle, which is how much enjoyment do your customers get out of that experience? When they're looking at rating you at the end, a lot of this is based on how you made them feel. And that's something they'll not forget. And they'll attach that to your brand. How do you make your customers feel at the end of that transaction? Are they glad they spent the money with you? That's an important part of the transaction. And that's part of what I want to teach you so that you can get your customers to spend more. You can deliver more delightful experiences that they want to share with their friends, with the rest of the world. And in short, I want your customers to become walking billboards for you. So click the training, the free training. Get to see how you can do this for your products and services. I go more into detail on this. And I'm really excited to share this information with you and turn your customers into walking billboards. So click the free training and let's accelerate your growth in customer experience.